What's up, schoolmates? Narito na naman ang inyong barkada para pag-usapan ng isang napapanahong isyong pangkabataan.
Yes, at syempre bago tayo mag-upisa sa ating talakayan, nais muna namin pasalamatan ang CMMA para sa Special Citation for Best News and Magazine Award.
That's right, Trisha. Maraming salamat po. Isa pong karangalan ng parangal na ito. Magpapatuloy lang kami, nila Trisha, nila Gina, ang ating buong schoolmates barkada, na talakayan ng mga napapanahong issue ng ating bansa.
Ang masasabi ko lang, CMMA, keep it coming. Thank you so much, Rono. So sana mas marami pa kaming ma-inspire ng mga schoolmates natin at mga kabataan. Pero for sure, ang ilan sa inyo ay makaka-relate naman sa ating topic for today because ang tatalakayan natin ngayon ay iikot sa school violence.
Ayan, schoolmates, trigger warning lang po sa lahat ng nakakapanood. Tama ka dyan, Trisha, dahil nga kapansin-pansin po ang pagdami ng mga kaso ng school-related violence. Again, trigger warning, gaya na lamang ng napamalitang third-year female medtech student na nasugatan at binaril ng binasted ng kanyang manliligaw na kapwa niya pa estudyante.
Siyempre, bukod pa riyan, ay laganap at hindi pa rin nawawala ang school bullying na nakakaapekto hindi lamang sa physical but siyempre sa mental health ng mga estudyante.
Kaya guys, pakaabangan ang aming diskusyon kasama ang ating piling panauhin maya-maya lamang dito sa
Schoolmates!
Isigaw ang tinig mo, ihayag sa buong mundo ang karapatan, kalayaan. Buksan ang isip mo, kaalaman ang yaman mo sa karapatan, sa kalayaan.
Schoolmates, mula pa noon ay hindi na nawawala ang issue ng bullying sa ating lipunan. Ngunit sa pagdami ng mga nababalitang kaso ng school violence sa bansa, kailangan nating alamin kung ano ang nararapat lamang gawin upang mapigilan ito. Trisha.
Siyempre, at kailangan para maintindihan din natin kung bakit nga ba nagkakaroon ng ganitong sitwasyon sa mga paaralan at siyempre, how can we emphasize further kung paano magdi-deal dito yung mga victims and of course, yung mga nakaka-witness ng school violence.
Kaya naman Trisha, para sa talakayan ngayong gabi, narito sina Jamie at Alex na parehong biktima ho ng bullying at makakasama rin natin si Dr. Romel na isang registered psychometrician and also a licensed professional teacher. Welcome guys sa Schoolmates. Maraming salamat po sa pagpapaunlak sa atin.
We have two people here who have experienced bullying. And of course, siguro simulan muna natin with our expert, no? So Sir Mel, can you tell us, ano-ano nga ba yung iba't ibang klase ng school violence na nararanasan ngayon sa mga paaralan? And of course, napag-usapan nga natin kanina off-screen, no, na iba na yung panahon ngayon. Meron bang nagbago sa forms of school violence? Mas dumami ba? Nag-diversify? Anong tingin mo dito, Sir Mel?
Ayun. Kapag sinabi kasi nating bullying, ito ay oppression doon sa mga tao na less powerful. Ginagamitan ito ng psychological or physical, usually. And ang mga forms ito ngayon, meron tatlong klase. Yung una, yung direct form or yung direct or physical abuse na dalawa yung cover nun. Yung una, yung physical harm. Yung pangalawa, yung verbal abuse. Pangalawa, merong tinatawag na informal. Ito naman, yung social bullying na kung saan kahit pagkwentuhan ninyo magkaibigan o magkaklase yung isang kaklase ninyo, that's a form of social bullying. Pangatlo, ito yung nangyayari ngayon na dahil tayo expose at ginagamit ng mga kabataan yung social media or yung internet and cyberspace, kasama din doon yung tinatawag natin na cyberbullying.
Right.
Ayan. So yun yung mga klase or mga forms ng bullying na na-encounter or nararanasan ng mga kabataan, especially sa school. Though maraming form ng violence, pero ang pinaka-common na na-experience at nararanasan ng mga kabataan ay itong bullying na nakukuha nila sa mga ka-group nila.
Right. Dapat i-note to ng mga schoolmates natin, no? Na baka hindi sila aware na nararanasan na pala nila ito. Kailangan ma-address agad to sa ating mga paaralan.
Right. At syempre yung mga parents din, no? Especially may mga schoolmates tayo na underage talaga ngayon. And for them, it's harder now to determine if what is this ba? Is this just the culture of the groups that they're in? Is it just the culture of the schools? Or is it really a form of violence or bullying?
Kaya Trish, tanungin natin to si Alex and Jamie, no, na ngayon willing na ikwento yung kanilang mga karanasan.
Correct.
Right. O ano yung mga forms of bullying, harassment, and violence na na-experience natin At ano yung naging epekto nito, Alex?
All right. So as a kid, talagang there were lots of instances talaga that I was bullied. I guess two notable experiences were times na kinailangan ko lumipat ng school.
Okay.
One instance was when I was in second grade, and I believe yung nambully sa akin is a friend of mine.
Okay.
And it was parang very petty lang yung topic. Pero I believe nagkaroon kami ng parehong crush. And then after niya malaman that I was basically into the same person, then that's when the bullying started. Parang it was more of a targeted thing than anything else. Tapos talagang yung pinaka-culmination is there was one time na I would say recruited or may tinawag siyang mga grade 6 niyang kaibigan. Inabangan ako sa waiting area ng school, and then for lack of a better term, binalibag ako.
Parang gang up, no?
Parang ganun po, if you would word it like that, yes. After po nun, a lot of visits to the guidance office. I even had to write an apology letter kasi nga, when I gave my piece, nalaman nila na may kasalanan din ako. So I had to apologize then. I had to write my own apology letter. Pero after that, talagang that was like I had to like switch schools na. A second one actually involves a lot more violent of an experience.
Okay.
If you notice one of my teeth here sa harap.
Okay.
Isa dyan kasi is jacket na.
Okay.
Oh, what happened?
This was in 4th grade. I was basically playing around with a friend. This was a friend na parang kakilala ko na matagal na. Friends kami during that 4th grade. And then, hindi ko maintindihan kung saan ang galing, pero he just started to parang nararamdaman ko meron siyang parang galit.
Okay.
Hindi ko alam kung saan nanggagaling. I'm not sure if it's targeted towards me specifically. Pero basta may galit ako nararamdaman. Yung pinaka parang event na nangyari that caused yung pagkaka-jacket ng ipin ko is we were basically playing tag. I was a kid, so hindi ko alam kung ano to. Basically, we were playing tag with plastic bottles. And then, naghahampasan, just roughhousing like the boys do.
Yeah.
Nahampas ko siya, and then what he did nung nahampas ko siya, I think napalakas yung hampas ko. What he did was he grabbed me by the collar, basically swung me around, and just for more context, mas matangkad to sa akin.
Okay.
I was in 4th grade, I was a very short kid. Tapos this dude was like way taller than me. Tapos basically he swung me around. Tapos ang huli ko lang naalala nun, I went face first into the classroom floor.
Okay.
Nagising na lang ako, nasa clinic ako. I was basically missing half of my tooth here. Tapos nandun siya sa tabi ko. And then he was basically saying na, bakit mo kasi ako hinampas ganito, bakit kasi ganon. And then hindi ko na alam masyado yung nangyari after that. After that, na din. Basically after that year, after the 4th grade ko na yun, I requested din na malipat ako. And yun na rin yung parang idea ng parents ko. Nailipat ako ng school.
Sorry to hear this, Alex.
It's okay.
No? Pero ito yung sinasabi ni Sir Mel na nagsisimula sa peers yung mga maliliit na bagay pero nakikita natin yung epekto sa mga bata. Right?
Yeah.
Jamie, ikaw.
Yeah. So in terms of my stories, there were different stages when I was from elementary to high school to senior high school. From elementary, it's just, I thought that it was normal because everyone was like playing like games. They even thought that one time I was like a sort of a virus. So I thought that, oh, it's like taya-taya. So it's like, it's normal. So like, okay, why are they like doing it to me? It's like they're playing. And then I said, okay, it's normal. Then I said, fine. But yun pala, when I realized, moving forward, that it was just taya-taya because they are the rich people isolating from middle class to not rich people.
Alright.
So there were like groups of people who hate people who don't belong to their group. So it's like the elite group making their own league. And I'm not part of their class. I'm not part of their group. So they isolate people who don't belong to the system. And then the next part is, while we're growing up, we had different beliefs. Since I emphasized that it's an all-boys school, there's toxic masculinity.
Right.
Yes, so it's ingrained in our culture that there's toxic masculinity everywhere. So you can see that they can sexualize our female teachers.
Okay.
So I didn't want that. They sexualize even, when my mom called before, there was one of my classmates who said that I'll rape her. So it's like, why are there things like that? Why are there things allowing in that system? Like, I told them, I stood up for what I think was right, and then I was the one who was bullied because they said that, no, that's not boyish. That's not boyish to defend women. So I said that at a young age, why is it normal to sexualize women? Then I have my mom, because I'm close with my mom. And I said that I was imagining myself na, what if my mom, and it really did happen, that she was sexualized, said things that are not good, misogynistic, and even our teachers, they're like sexualizing, like even in social media, things like that. I said that this has to stop. It's not normal. Pero dumating sa point na nagnakaw na sila ng gamit sa lunchbox. I even used like a padlock in my lunch bag because literally nagnanakaw sila ng gamit. Then the normal things, pinapatid, hinuhulog, and then embarrassment, may tunutuso. Then during one of our moving up ceremonies before, there was a candle, then inaano sa akin kasi we had our practices before moving up ceremony. So we were holding a candle. Then inaano sa akin, sabi, ay sorry, akala ko sinabi kasi, I'm too expensive. So sabi ko, okay. Sabi ko, so they feel that they're too entitled and expensive. And then senior high school is a different story. The same classmates, the same batchmates, the same person. So I excelled. I was charismatic, not to pagbubuhat ng bangko, but I was charismatic to other people. Especially when we interacted with girls' schools. Like, syempre, di ba, pag boys' schools, you interact with girls' schools because it's boys or race. And then, there was a time when I interacted and I was the one who was okay with them, I was the one talking to them. Then they were mad kasi at the same time kasi, they were sexualizing them. As usual, sexualizing them, saying na pangit ka. Then the name of the school, ano ba yan, simbahan, yung name ng school nila. I won't name the school nila. Then they were keep on saying that, and then magagalit sila sa akin because I'm not like them. Because if I act like them, then I'm accepted. But my values are not like that. So, ganun pala yun, if you're different from them, if you have a different values, if you're not rich, then sorry, you have to suffer the consequences. And that happened with social media bashing, fake news against me, then they're attacking me. I told the officials about this, then they said, no. They were parang playing safe because syempre it's rich people, like just like that. I said, okay, I'll just pabayaan na lang sila, but no, okay. But I said, it just feels like, why are they stepping up so much on people? As if we're just all human beings. And I don't see any reason at all why they would actually think na, ay, dapat gawin namin, dapat nahawan ka namin because they're doing that because they keep on saying na, ay, hindi, okay lang because mayaman kami, ganito, ganyan. And you, even if you do that, it's like, all the laws seem like a Band-Aid solution for them. It's like they can just escape and they have this sense of immunity. And people like me out there and other people out there are forced to be silent about it. And another times, pag magsasabi ako sa ibang tao, especially, I have relatives out there who actually told me na parang victim blame pa nila ako about those kind of situations. So in terms of effects, honestly, I felt like a prisoner of my own story for how many years. I had mental issues, I wasn't unstable, I had to be absent for many times. It was difficult for me to interact with people. But thankfully, I had the opportunities. I had to translate my vulnerabilities into a strength, which I'll just share later about that. And I felt that it was an emotional, long-term emotional scar for me, for life.
Parang nire-relive mo every time. I'm so sorry to hear no, na baka parang nare-reopen yung scars na yun. But you guys are very brave for sharing your stories.
And nakuha natin kay Jamie na yung harassment pala, meron ding malalim na pinanggagalingan like socio-cultural, socio-economic perspective. No, na maganda rin, mahimay-himay natin with Sir Romel mamaya.
And siguro no, from sharing your story, siguro gusto natin malaman from what the context is. Gusto nating malaman yung way forward naman. No? Parang, how should students like them ba? Like, I know you guys have fought bravely for your ideals. You had a very different outlook in life after those experiences. Pero for students who are going through it pa lang, especially those who may not be emotionally mature as you are, how should they deal back with school violence? And is there a proper way to deal or to manage yourself and others when you are in these kinds of situations, Sir Mel?
Actually, isa sa mga importanteng bagay na una nilang matandaan, yung mga audience natin, yung mga kabataan or mga estudyante, una, kapag ikaw ay involved sa bullying, you need to seek help.
Yeah.
No? Doon sa iyong mga parent, sa iyong teachers, and
Yeah.
of course, sa school administrator. Napaka-importante na mag-seek tayo ng help. No?
Yeah.
Kasi tulad ng nabanggit kanina ng ating kasama, no, na there is an instance na merong mga reason, halimbawa yung prejudice, no, meron kasi tinatawag na different types of prejudice. One of them is classism. Classism na kung saan, dahil iba ka ng class o socio-economic class sa
Yeah.
kanila, ang thinking ng mga kasama mo ay, ito ka, hindi ka kasama nila, hindi ka belong sa group nila.
Can't sit
So,
with
importante na ma-inform ito yung mga parent, yung
Right.
mga school administrator and then teacher, para ito yung maging way ng mga teacher to change the mindset
Right.
of the students. No? Napaka-importante nun. Pangalawa, of course, kung ikaw yung nabubuli na estudyante, kailangan mapataas pa din niya yung confidence niya sa kanyang sarili. Pangatlo, do not take revenge. No? Napaka-importante na kung hindi pwede nating idahilan na nabully kasi ako kaya nagbubuli din ako ng iba.
Right.
No? So hindi yun magandang dahilan. And there are several studies in psychology na karamihan sa mga naging rason kung bakit mayroong mga estudyante or tao na nagbubuli because they experience that. So meron silang mga
Parang
exposure,
cycle.
meron
Pwedeng sa loob ng bahay yan.
Opo,
Sir Mel,
meron sa loob ng bahay, sa labas ng bahay nila, sa eskwelahan.
Right.
So maraming mga reason. Pang-apat, no, siguro kailangan matuto din or magkaroon din ng kakayanan ng mga kabataan na pangalagaan or take good care of themselves. Yun. So pang-apat, no, ay pang-lima, kailangan pati yung mga school administrator ay mag-involve dito. Kasi for example, in the Philippines, nabanggit natin ng ating kasama na meron tayong Anti-Bullying Act of 2013.
Right.
Yeah.
So kailangan ma-execute yon. Ano ba yung mandate ng batas na yon para yung mga estudyante sa eskwelahan ay maproteksyonan no, sa mga bullying. Again, malaki ang mga dahilan or marami ang mga dahilan kung bakit nag-start ang bullying. So, importante din na magkaroon tayo ng understanding na kailangan na ituro sa mga kabataan kung paano yung tinatawag na conflict resolution.
Right.
Ako naniniwala ako na magkaroon sila ng idea, yung mga teacher, maituro sa mga kabataan kung paano mag-handle ng isang conflict na hindi papupunta sa mga violence. No? So, doon kasi, mag-start na yun ng, pag nasatisfy siya or sabihin natin na nag-start na siya mag-create ng violence with other people, no? Unti-unti yun na mag-create ng bullying sa kanilang group.
Aha.
Mayroon na nga akong follow-up. no?
Sige.
So, guys, di ba, pinag-uusapan natin so much about how can victims deal with these kinds of situations. Pero for example, dun sa nangyari kay Jamie, na the institution themselves, like, kumbaga may barrier na, shucks, hindi namin pwedeng banggain tong mga to.
nabanggit
Kasi,
ni Jamie, di ba?
mayayamang mga tao, prominent, may mga pangalan. Paano ka magdi-deal sa ganung sitwasyon when you're on the receiving end? Kung kunwari, you feel na there is also injustice in the system or the administrations that are handling the case or the situation. Sir Mel, may ganun ba tayong parang way to resolve
Sa
that
akin,
kind
no,
of
sa
conflict?
palagay ko, talaga may mga ganun instances na dahil mas power, halimbawa,
Reality,
siya isa sa mga pangunahing investor ng school ninyo,
Sponsor ng
school.
school.
No? So, malaki talaga yung factor nun, kaya hindi mo sila mabangga. Though, tandaan natin na in the Philippines, meron tayong batas at merong mga institution and agency na pwede nating lapitan upang mabago yung ganung kanilang pananaw. Kasi kung hindi walang kikilos, walang mag-stand up for that, to correct that kind of administration or behavior, hindi yun mababago. Paulit yun ng paulit.
Mismo.
At magiging magiging parang kasama na sa norms nila, sa culture nila. Kaya kailangan may mag-stand up. So, importante, no, na-dues natin bilang mga kabataan, kung tayo man, or hindi man, kung tayo man yung involved, or hindi man, at nakasaksi lang ng bullying, importante na mag-stand up tayo.
Right.
Para mabago. At mabago ang mindset, at mabago ang sistema na yun.
Kaya natin din pinag-uusapan to kasi para kalampagin ng pamahalaan.
Yes,
ang mga academic institutions na nangyayari to. Kailangan may gawin tayo, nabanggit ni Sir Romel, na unahin natin yung paglalagay ng pangil sa mga batas. I-implement natin ang mabuti sa LGUs hanggang sa ating mga paaralan. Pero again, Jamie, Alex, thank you for sharing your story. Napakatapang nyo, no? And evident, nasabi nyo naman na hanggang ngayon, meron itong epekto. Pero para sa mga nanonood nating mga schoolmates na pinagdadaanan to, napagdaanan to, no? Pwede nyo bang ikwento yung naging healing process nyo? Paano nyo ito pinoproseso? Meron ba kayong mga coping mechanisms na may serve as an inspiration to our listeners? Jamie.
I think I would change the word healing to adapt. Kasi
Right.
parang I've thought of it for many times na parang healing is more of like, parang if inuubo ka and then you have this kind of medicine, you get cured.
Gagamot, no?
But I think that these kind of pains are not really cured for the rest of our lives. I think that for every single instance that happens in our life, there's everything that would remind us, even the slightest memory. So I think that in my case, what I did was support of my mom.
Okay.
Kasi honestly, not all family members are supportive.
Right.
There's some family members na masyadong takot, close-minded, and sabihin ko na lang na parang at the end, there's this kind of culture na parang they really don't support you on that because they have their own beliefs.
Right.
So what I did to move forward instead of move on, kasi I felt that there's a need to move forward with my life kasi I need to adapt with how do I know myself. Kasi for how many years I was deprived of knowing who I am. So I had to join competitions, I had to interact with people, I joined with organizations,
Right.
and thankfully, when I represented competitions, I won. I also used my experiences for bullying and mental health for the Emmys 2021 and 22, where I was officially nominated to represent the country, Normal Masks, because I wanted to show how bullying is also a virus.
Okay.
That's a silent pandemic that's happening in our world. And the Silent Wars, which is also released 2022, I wanted to create a platform that mental health, bullying, and other factors are normal. That
Great.
each and every one of us has our own silent battles, has our own silent wars, and wars don't always have to be these kind of loud, noisy, or anything that you can see. And that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing the story that I have to other people, to all kinds of platforms, because I wanted to help people that I wanted to be the person that I wanted to have before to other people. I began to experience bullying at the year of 2007.
Okay.
It's 2023 already.
Tagal na.
And these kind of issues still happen until today. And honestly, I felt disappointed, sad, disappointed kasi in a way, parang these things are still happening right now and only few people are standing up for these kind of conversations. And kung magkaroon man ng conversations about bullying, it's only how people are sympathetic to
Right.
bullies and not empathetic to the bully victims. So parang ang nagiging problem is the questions and the conversations kapag may news flash. Sino yung biktima, ano yung nangyari, ano yung bully, ano yung nangyari, bakit ganito, and then that's the end of discussion. We don't talk about why bullying exists in the first place. How are the victims? How are the families? These are the kind of conversations that, period, we don't talk about it anymore. And I'm grateful that with social media and everything that we have right now, there are more and more conversations, platforms, and I'm joining them. That's what I do to also adapt with myself, because I feel like if I'm making my own impact stamp with other people, and then that's a way of feeling myself that there's something that I can do that the bullies I had never did. That is making an impact and helping other people,
Right.
and not wasting my time destroying other people's lives.
Galing. Galing, no? Mamaya, pag-usapan na, ang ganda rin sinabi ni Jamie, lalo yung hukatin, ano natin yung ugat.
Yeah.
Hindi sapat yung awareness, pero tingnan natin yung ugat. Alex.
Healing process. As a person ngayon, I wouldn't go as far as to say na I'm healed. And dun pa rin talaga yung effects. I agree with what Jamie said on the terms of adaptability. Then talaga we have to adapt. Pero one of the things that I've utilized, or one of the things that I've practiced throughout life talaga, is acceptance. Not the fact na accept na yung bullying. Never accept bullying. And siguro if there's any message na gusto ko iparating sa mga viewers natin, gusto ko iparating sa inyo na if ever that you're bullied, kasi this is something that I've struggled with personally. every time na nabubuli ako, I always tell myself na baka mamaya ikaw may kasalanan. Baka mamaya kasi you just need to fix yourself.
Right.
Maybe masyado kang malapit, maybe mali yung mga taong lalapitan mo. Maybe you just don't fit in. Talagang kasalanan mo yun. I've always told myself that. It's only recently lang na nasabi ko sa sarili ko, people around me have told me na hindi ikaw yung may kasalanan.
Alright.
Never ever blame yourself pagdating sa mga ganito. If nabubuli ka, it's not your fault. Ikaw yung biktima dito.
Tama.
Pagdating sa mga ganito, ikaw yung, kaya nga bully victim ang tawag sa'yo, tawag sa atin. Or I guess, kung ganun yung gagamitin terminology lang. Hindi mo kasalanan na binubuli ka. You are a victim of an unfortunate circumstance. Pero, an acceptance of the fact na when it comes to life talaga, there are gonna be ups and downs. Yung naging parang pinaka-acceptance process ko doon is the fact na meron talaga mga mangyayaring ganito. There are always gonna be people na kukontra sa akin or parang mambubuli sa akin at some point. There are always gonna be people na, kunyari, regardless of how good I think I look. Papasok ko ng school one day, I think I look good in the things that I wear. There's always gonna be that one person that says, hey, taba mo ngayon tignan, ano meron? There's always gonna be that one person na, hey, ano ba yung t-shirt mo? Ang pangit tignan. Mukha kang ganito, mukha kang ganon. There's always gonna be those kinds of people. And ako nga din kasi, I've had friends told me na, Alex, mukha kang target. Mukha kang kabuli-buli. That's something na parang, that's sunk in para sa akin na parang, oo nga, baka nga talaga. Talagang I used to like always blame myself na parang ako nga ba talaga to? Pero it's not my fault. Natanggap ko na sa sarili ko na may mga taong ganun talaga. There are always gonna be those people.
Right.
I'm not sure what their motivations are, pero nasa sa kanila na yun. Ang sa akin lang kasi, I'm doing what I want. I'm doing what I'm comfortable with. So long as wala akong natatapakan tao,
Right.
I'm not bullying anyone,
Right.
masaya na ako doon.
Right.
And one of the missions that I have in life nga kasi ngayon, specifically with my school, I have an organization. I'm basically part of a club, and the club is filled with, to say the least, introverts. People who I saw nakagaya ko.
Right.
As in the past, ganun ako. I was very introverted, I was a very timid person. Nung high school ako, talagang I was just very tagong-tago, kung tawagin. There were only a few friends that I had. I had a very small circle of friends. And sila lang yung nakakakilala nung kung ano talaga ako. Nauwi ko sila sa bahay, kilala na pamilya ko and all that. Yun yung tinatry kong i-form ngayon. With my organization, I form a safe space for them. Marami nga akong mga tinatawag na mga anak, kung tawagin ko doon. A lot of them talagang nandun, inaalagaan namin.
Right.
We form a safe space for them kasi it's more, it's not just an organization for introverts, it's an organization where everyone can feel safe. Where everyone can be themselves dun sa
Right.
space na yun.
Oo.
And-
Find who you're with, no? Find your
Exactly.
tribe, parang ganun.
One of the things din siguro, one of the things that I've used para makapag-move forward ako sa life ko, I've found my support system.
Right.
Yun ang
Build your support
pinaka-importante.
system.
Hindi totoo, para sa akin, my personal belief is that hindi mo kaya mabuhay mag-isa sa mundo na to.
Yeah.
You need people to be around you with. Pero
Right.
that doesn't mean na pag wala kang tao around you, wala kang support system, wala ka na. There's
Right.
always gonna be people around you. And you should find and stay close to those people na mamahalin ka for who you are and who will tell you pag may mali kang ginagawa kasi they are there for you, they're caring for you. And I'm confident in saying na I have found those people. Masaya ako ngayon kaya I'm confident in moving forward with my life.
Gusto ko yun. Choose people who
Si
choose
Jamie.
you. We love
Lupit.
it. We love it.
Alam
Thank
mo
you so much,
Na-convert nila yun to empower
Oo,
others.
Correct.
Solid.
Yes, solid. Pero guys, no, bibitinin muna natin yung kwentuhan natin right now. And I'm sure marami pang mga schoolmates natin yung gustong marinig yung mga stories. And what should we do when we are actually in these kinds of situations? Kaya naman, ang ating usapang ito ay bibitinin muna namin. Ngunit marami pa tayong aabangan sa pagbabalik lamang ng Schoolmates!
Welcome back to Schoolmates. Ngayon naman guys, Sir Romel, pag-usapan natin yung preventive measures, no? Para maiwasan yung mga napag-usapan natin kanina. Ano bang ginagawa ng mga schools para ma-assess yung mga bullies? Meron ba tayong mga mechanism na ginagawa na itong batang to, potential na pwedeng mambiktima ng kapwa niya estudyante?
Ayun. So, ang mga school natin at sa secondary school and sa tertiary education, meron naman sila mga measures na ginagawa upang masolusyonan yung mga ganong problema, especially ng mga kabataan or ng mga estudyante. So, isa sa mga ginagawa nila para ma-assess, no, yung mga nambubuli, no? Ay of course, no, they need to talk it or they need to hanapin or tanungin sila ano ba yung mga pangunahin nilang dahilan, bakit may mga ginagawa silang bullying sa kapwa nila student. Somehow kasi, meron din kasi tayong tinatawag na displacement. That is defense mechanism of everyone. Na kung saan, hindi kasi natin nagagawa ito sa ibang tao. Halimbawa, sa bahay pala natin, nag-ugat, no, nasasaktan tayo, tayo ay nadalagay sa panganib. Ngayon, yung bata na yun, hindi naman niya pwedeng balikan yung kanyang mga magulang or kung sino man yung mga taong nasa bahay nila. Pagdating niya ng eskwelahan, doon niya ginagawa or binabalik niya, dinidisplace niya sa ibang tao yung mga na-experiences niya or yung mga experiences niya. Ngayon, ang mga eskwelahan ay may mga programa na kung saan talagang extensive yung education. For example, sa amin sa college, sa tertiary education, may mga subject na incorporated or inintegrate yung mga subject na may kinalaman sa ano ba yung halaga ng human rights and pag-uphold nito sa mga kabataan. Katulad nito halimbawa, yung tinatawag natin na peace education. Dapat hindi lang sa tertiary education merong ganong study. Dapat sa mga secondary and primary education, ma-incorporate din or ma-integrate din yung pag-aaral ng ano ba yung dapat na gawin ng mga tao, morally act or morally right, tapos paano ba nila marirespeto yung karapatan ng kapwa nila student. No? So, yun. Actually, for me, no, may kinalaman din ang bullying sa peace, sa classroom. No? So, kailangan makita din ng mga eskwelahan, ma-assess din ng mga eskwelahan, ano ba yung mga pangunahing problema inside the setup ng school or sa mga classroom. Minsan kasi mga nag-uugat yan sa stereotyping, meron silang member ng class, katulad kanina meron tayong nakwento na there is an instance na hinihiwalay ka sa member ng group, so in-exclude ka. Maaari din yun mag-cause ng conflict within the group. So dapat yung mga kabataan, unti-unti, natututo sila habang sila ay na-include sa kanilang mga tinuturo ng mga teachers sa kanila, na hanggat sila ay lumalaki, ma-integrate sa kanila at maituro sa kanila yung halaga ng pagrespeto sa ibang tao, yung kindness, yung empathy, at saka paano nga ba mag-resolve ng conflict. Always remember, kasi ang conflict ay normal na nangyari sa society natin. Every now and then, meron tayong possibility na magkaroon ng conflict. So bilang mga tao, yung mga kabata, halimbawa, kahit paano matutunan nila kung paano dapat mag-handle ng conflict nang hindi ito nagre-resulta ng violence at mapupunta sa bullying. So I believe ang mga school maliban dito sa anti-child abuse, anti-bullying act, kailangan mabigyan nila yung mga eskwelahan or mga school na yung mga guidance office ng mga extensive program talaga. Na ma-integrate sa mga pagtuturo ng mga teacher yung halaga ng pagrespeto sa ibang tao, sa kapwa nila estudyante.
Okay.
May tanong ako doon. Actually, I'd rephrase the question that we were supposed to ask. When you said, sir, na kailangan malaman yung mga institutions, they have to be well aware of, or through extensive programs, how can they deal with different conflicts and diffuse those kinds of conflicts. Are seminars enough? Do you think na just holding a forum and telling them theoretically this is how you do things, would this really have a positive impact? Tingin mo, would it have that great impact sa loob ng isang setting na iba-iba yung power dynamics na nakikita natin? It's not just students versus students, but students versus teacher, students versus staff. Paano? Are seminars enough? Meron ba tayong ibang way to actually do it?
So actually, makakatulong ang mga seminar. No? And maliban sa seminar, of course, yung extensive teaching na-include ito sa mga subject na kailangan kahit paano maituro ng mga teacher kung ano ba talaga o paano nga ba mag-resolve ng mga conflict. Kasi tandaan natin, ang tao ay merong tinatawag tatlong cycle ito. Una, cognitive. Pangalawa, affective or feeling. And then, it will lead to behavior or action. So, bago mapunta dun sa actions, kailangan, technically, yung cognition, yung understanding ng bata or ng tao, ay malinaw sa kanya na hindi pwedeng gumawa ng masama or kailangan may respeto tayo sa ibang tao. And from that, it will lead them papunta sa magiging actions nila. Kung meron silang awareness and understanding, kaya yung mga seminar, okay yon, very good yon.
Parte lang to nun,
Yes.
yung cognitive process. Pero sana hindi mag-end sa seminars. Ano?
Yes.
Pero important pa rin siya.
Importante pa din.
Ito naman, Sir Romel, sa inyo rin, Alex, Jamie. Halimbawa ako, estudyante nasa academic setting sa loob ng paaralan. Halimbawa, nandiyan na yung perpetrator. Alam kong
Nasa gate na agad,
prone siya
nakaharap na agad sa'yo.
makaka-experience ako ng form of abuse, violence, etc. Ano ang dapat kong gawin para protektahan ang sarili ko? In actual, nandiyan na yung mambibiktima. Sir Romel.
Sa akin, no, para sa mga kabataan, of course, hindi pwedeng gawin mo din sa kanila. I mean, hindi ka pwedeng gumanti.
Okay.
No? So, iwasan din natin yung violence. So, instead na lumaban, siguro, i-address natin yung pinaka-proper authority within the class. For example, yung teacher. Kailangan maging aware yung teacher doon sa mga possible, kung nandoon sa klase na yun, yung kaniyang mga perpetrator. So, dapat aware si teacher. Kasi authority, si teacher. So, si teacher ang makakapag-manage nung buong class.
Right.
At ma-educate yung bata, pag nalaman ng teacher na siya ay nabubuli nung kasama nila sa class, pwede ngayon i-facilitate ng teacher.
Right.
Pwede siyang i-address, padalhin sa guidance counselor upang maunawaan ano ba yung mga reason. Bakit nga ba niya nabubuli yung isang classmate niya? No? And then from that, no, of course, the parents, the family, which is the basic unit of our society, is a very big impact doon sa development ng mga tao or ng mga
Right.
bata. So, ibig sabihin, no, kailangan ma-involve din yung family para ma-address yung ganong concern, or especially kung yung isang estudyante ay nabubuli. Kasi again, ulitin ko, no, batay sa mga studies, ang pinakapangunahing rason kung bakit may mga taong bully dahil na-experience din nila ito.
Okay. So, first, sir, look for an authority.
Yes.
Guard, marshal, prefect,
Yes
gano'n.
po.
Pero like sa experience ni Alex, nung nabully siya, gumanti siya. Di ba? Yung parang gano'n eh. Or siya yung naunang
Naghampasan sila ng
hampas,
bote.
tapos
Tama
bigla
ba?
siyang binalibag, di ba? Anong masasabi niyo based from your own experience? Kasi kayo mismo naranasan niyo. Like sa mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon, ano bang dapat gawin para
Or what could you have done
Oo.
differently
Oo,
during that
yun.
time?
Always think before you act. Laging ganun yun. Although, as people talaga, sometimes nauuna yung gawa natin.
Emotions, yeah.
Nauuna yung actions natin before we think. That's always gonna happen at some point talaga. Always think before you act. You don't know kung ano yung magiging epekto sa ibang tao, nung sasabihin mo, nung gagawin mo, kahit man na nga yung iisipin mo sa isang tao, makaka-apekto na sa gagawin mo sa kanila,
Right,
parang sa
right.
actions mo sa kanila. And also, I guess, to combat yung just to go back to your scenario kanina, pag nandiyan na yung si bully, paparating ka na dun sa school, nandiyan na si bully, one thing na masasabi ko is, huwag niyo ipapakita na takot kayo. This is more of a parang self-defense type thing na. The more that I realize kasi, the more na parang pinapakita ko sa kanila, na natatakot ako sa kanila, the more sila nag-approach sa akin, and the more sila nagiging unrelenting pagdating sa bullying nila.
Right.
Maganda rin.
The more na nakikita nila yung effects nila nung bullying nila sa akin, whether it be verbal, physical, or kahit even online bullying, the more na pinapakita mo sa kanila na naaapektuhan ka, the more na itutuloy nila yun. And I'm not saying na
Love that.
ignorin mo yung nararamdaman mo.
Uh-huh.
Never ignore kung ano yung nararamdaman mo. Always find ways to address kung ano yung nararamdaman mo properly, pero do not show it to them.
So sa mga magulang na nakikinig ngayon, ipaalala nyo sa mga anak nyo yung karapatan nila, yung human dignity nila na walang sino man ang pwedeng humawak sa kanila, magsabi ng hindi maganda sa kanila, sigawan sila, ipaalala natin yung karapatan nila. Kasi
Right.
once informed ang mga bata, di ba, kaya nilang lumaban. Ang nanonormalize nga kasi yung ganitong kultura. Ikaw, Jamie.
I think I wouldn't just depend on my own. Kasi I think parang we have to understand bullying is like an ecosystem. I think that there's a bully, then I'm the one who's bullied. Then I have to see if there's a CCTV, if there are bystanders out there. Kasi parang I've read in a study before na parang students or people who are bullied, parang they don't want to report because, for example, parang there lack of evidences.
Right,
Parang there
oo.
needs to be evidences pa, parang to make a report, a case. So parang instead of that, it remains underreported. So parang I need some evidences in any way. Evidences in any way. people who can see it, kasi there are some people who really want to speak up, pero sinasabi, ay, ang hassle. Kasi ang hassle ng process.
Right.
Ang hassle ng process, magre-report pa ako ganito kay guidance counselor, and then pagpunta kay guidance counselor, kailangan pa punta dito, and then pumunta doon. But at the same time, as a victim, maybe if I were that person, iisipin ko pa na, ay, wag na lang sabihin kasi ang hassle. So I would advise that person to have first bystander check, then yung location if may mga CCTV, if not, or if kaya niya mag-record, or ganito. Kasi those are ways that you can actually help yourself. Na parang kahit harap-harapan na yung evidence, they would just fabricate it. And people would just say na, the authorities would say, okay, we have to do due process. Well, I respect the process, na due process. But there has to be a point na parang there has to be evidence lagi, which I get naman, pero not all the time, may mga bystanders who are also open. And I hope yung mga bystanders and people out there, sana they're also part of the conversation na pag may nakikita sila, i-report nila.
Correct.
Kasi we don't know, kasi hindi natin alam, nagko-contribute din sila sa bullying. If they're silenced, if they're not saying something, then they're also contributing. Kumbaga, kahit wala silang ginagawa, you are also being the silent bully.
Yeah.
And you yourself are contributing to that cycle to happen.
Correct.
Pati sa pag-report, may red tape pa rin.
Oo. Tsaka,
Nade-delay.
sobrang bureaucratic ng institutions ngayon. As in, step by step documented, and every day na lumalagpas, mas gumagrabe yung bullying. Kasi, shucks, masusumbong na ako. So, lalo nilang i-intensify para manahimik yung victim. So guys, pinag-uusapan natin to, realidad to. So we're not sugarcoating it. At the same time, siguro ang tanong ko din no sa mga sa inyo guys, do you think na yung mga educators natin or the people who hold that authority in educational institutions or even in the workplace, do they observe enough to notice na there are changes in the students' behavior that could possibly an indicator of bullying? Or like, meron bang shocks, possible threat to kasi may ginawa na siyang ganito? Or meron siyang ine-exhibit na behavior na out of the norm? Siguro, Sir Mel?
Ayan, actually sa mga teachers no or sa mga magulang, ganun din sa mga nasa mga authority no sa mga guidance counselor, isa sa mga sa mga behavior na observable sa mga batang nabubuli ay una, absenteeism, no? Kasi para ma-avoid nila yung kanilang bully, nag-absent sila. Pangalawa, yung academic performance, low academic performance. Ma-observe niyan, yung mga first quarter, magaling siya. Tapos by the end of the second quarter, parang unti-unting bumababa yung grades niya. Pangatlo, na pwede nating ma-observe yung mga teacher is yung low self-confidence or self-esteem. Dati, kaya naman ng bata na magsalita sa harapan. Pero dahil nga nakakaranas pala siya ng bullying, no, hindi na siya nakakapagsalita sa harapan, hindi na siya nakakatayo. Pang-apat, siguro pwede rin nating sabihin na isa sa mga observable is yung mental health condition.
Right.
No? Yung dati, yung bata ay joyful naman at jolly naman na sumama sa mga group. Pero may nangyari, ang nangyari ay bigla na lang siyang in-isolate niya yung sarili niya. Hindi na siya sumama sa mga group. So doon, yung mga ganong observable behavior ay pwede nating magamit at para maobserbahan natin yung ating mga anak at ang ating mga estudyante kung meron ba silang pinagdaraanan or meron bang mga bagay na nagkukos sa kanila, bakit gano'n na yung mga nagiging behavior nila. Observable naman yon. So that's a good thing na ma-note ng mga teachers natin dyan and ng mga magulang para ma-address agad. Huwag nating pabayaan.
Alam mo, bukod sa monitoring, na iintindihan din natin na may kailangang mabago sa kultura natin. Di ba? Na hindi nakakalalaki ang pananakit.
Correct.
Di ba?
At hindi
yung
nakakatuwa
batayan no,
at nakakatawa.
ng pagiging malakas. Di ba? Pero from your experiences, Alex, Jamie, hindi ba naging sapat ang monitoring ng ating institution, especially ng teachers, sa mga na-experience nyo?
No.
Hindi. Oh,
No.
wait. Ikaw, Alex, hindi rin.
Sa akin kasi, in my cases, hindi nalaman na
Hindi
I was
nalaman.
being bullied until the fact na binring up ko sa guidance.
So, bukod dun sa ease of reporting, at nabanggit ni Alex din, dapat alam ng mga kabataan, ng mga estudyante yung karapatan nila.
Right.
Ano pa yung pwedeng gawin?
Aha.
Para maging maayos yung monitoring, ma-assess ng maayos yung mga estudyante natin. Kung ano yung nangyayari sa loob ng classrooms.
I think we can do it more on a societal level. Kasi bullying is more of societal level also. Tama yung sinabi na parang when you say you're a bully, parang you're macho. It's ingrained with our patriarchal culture.
Right.
So parang sinasabi na the more that you're stronger, the more that people would admire you. The more that you're weak, the more that parang kabuli-buli ka. And I think that it has to start with our culture. It has to start with societal level, national level, that we have to have this kind of progressive thinking na parang hindi, things like this are not supposed to be normalized. Things like this has to stop right now. And that sometimes there are people who actually have to think na parang this kind of, parang kinokorrupt tayo ng ganitong mga mindset. And I think parang, kasi yung mga teachers, yung mga nasa company, sumusunod lang sila kung anong nasa society. If we have good leaders, if we have a good culture, and then the rest would follow. It's a good domino effect. Na if, kaya nga sinasabi nila na we need good leaders and we need parang we need to revolutionize things in our society. Kasi if we don't, ang mangyayari is we're just in an outdated mindset. It's barbaric to think na, ay, ang galing mo naman, bully ka, ay, kawawa ka naman, ganito ka. Pero I think that in this day and age, bullying has to be seen as something that's a crime. Something that, kasi parang nakikita lang natin ngayon na parang bullying is something that's normal in our life. Na parang it's a childhood phase. Na parang as if na, uy, parang it's your initiation to know if you're strong. Kumbaga parang it's like in fraternities na parang we have to normalize these actions kasi kung hindi ka magiging matatag. So parang people are saying, in order to be strong, you need to experience things like that. But I think that education and society has to parang re-educate ourselves that being strong doesn't have to be in the form of violence. There are so many ways to express being strong, and I think that that's how we have to re-evaluate ourselves, rethink of ourselves, rethink with our culture na parang we have to increase this kind of message sa mga tao na parang bullying is wrong, violence is wrong, saying, name-calling people is wrong, and I think that that has to start. Kasi lahat ng nangyayari, honestly, it's just a band-aid solution. Because it would just be a cycle. Like what I said, like what everyone has said, bullying happened for decades ago, years ago. Nagde-develop lang siya. Now, nakikita natin
Different
with
platforms.
social media, may freedom wall pa, may TikTok pa, etc., etc. Now we can see that bullying has been evolved. Hindi nagbabago yung culture ng bullying. Nagpo-progress lang siya. And there has to be people in our culture to stop that culture today.
Right.
Well, for now, I guess focusing on the institutions nga kasi, one of the struggles that I found personally, I did not feel na pakikinggan ako. When I approached them, when I would approach a guidance counselor, I did not feel na pakikinggan ako.
Right.
One of the things nang siguro na gusto kong sabihin to the institutions out there, always let your students know na you would listen to them, that you are here for them. Kasi, yun nga, one of the biggest struggles that I had, I didn't want to tell, for example, there was this one instance na hindi ko gusto sabihin sa guidance counselor ko that I was being bullied. Kasi I felt like parang magkakaroon lang siya ng effect na, ay ano ba yan? Parang maan-late-late naman ang problema mo or something like that.
Right.
Always let your students know. Reassure them na andun kayo para sa kanila. I'm not saying na kulang. I'm just saying na that could definitely be a good step para ma-reinforce yung ano nila, ma-reinforce yung confidence nila, uy, magsasabi ako, so that they would know and they could help.
Okay. Dr. Sir Romel, any message para sa lahat ng schoolmates natin?
Ayan.
na
So,
nakikinig?
tatlo yung message ko. Una, para sa mga guro. Sa mga guro na nakapanood ngayong araw, ay nawa yung learnings natin habang sa discussion na to ay makuha ninyo. At bilang mga guro, kasama sa responsibility natin, yung tinatawag na transformative education. Na i-transform natin yung mga sinuunang mindset na hindi naman talaga tama. Gawin natin yung mga bagay na sa palagay natin ay makakatulong sa mga tao, sa mga estudyante natin, na mag-develop sila ng mabuti at mahusay, na may pagmamalasakit at pagtingin sa karapatan ng ibang tao. Pangalawa, sa mga magulang, sana ganun din bilang kayo yung unang guro ng inyong mga anak, dapat magmula sa atin yung mga tamang education na pwede nilang baunin habang sila ay lumalaki. So, sa mga magulang, kung sakali man, na yung inyong mga anak ay nakakaranas din ng ganitong uri ng pangyayari tulad ng bullying, dapat kayo din mismo ay maging kaisa nila. Tama yung ibig sabihin na kailangan may strong social support ang mga kabataan, kasama yung mga magulang nila, para maitama yung mga mali. And yun, sila kasi kayo yung unang sandigan nila at napagkakatiwalaan nila. So dapat sa mga magulang, ganun din yung inyong thinking about it. And sa mga student naman natin, sa mga student natin, sa mga mag-aaral na nakakapanood ngayong araw, napakahalaga na matuto tayong magkaroon ng respeto sa ibang tao. Kung ano yung gusto natin na respeto mula sa ating sarili or kung ano yung mga paraan ng pagrespeto ng iba para sa atin, dapat ganun din natin ibinibigay yon sa ibang tao. Sa mga classmate natin, kung gusto nating sabihin na ganito tayo or gusto natin maramdaman na ganito tayo, ganun din dapat. Maging bahagi ka nun na magbigay din sa iyong mga classmate or sa iyong mga kasama sa classroom.
Right.
Alright. Sige. Again, thank you so much, Sir Romel. Maraming salamat. Alex, Jamie, salamat sa kanilang mga storya. Napakatapang nyo. Palakpakan naman natin.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
And grabe, Trisha, mabigat ang pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Pero sabi nga ng ating mga guests, ito ay nangyayari na sa matagal ng panahon. Kaya para sa atin, ang classroom at paaralan ay safe space dapat.
Yeah.
For learning, development at empowerment ng mga estudyante. Walang puwang ang karahasan, pananamantala at pang-aabuso sa loob man yan o sa labas ng ating mga schools. Una, kailangan i-acknowledge ng mga academic institutions ng ating pamahalaan na nag-e-exist ang violence sa schools. Huwag natin tong takpan o subukang i-band-aid ng kung ano-anong programa. Kailangan tanggapin natin to at pag-usapan. I-involve natin at i-integrate natin to sa curriculum mapping. I-consider natin yung socio-cultural and socio-economic perspective, di ba, na nabanggit kanina ni Jamie. Bigyan natin ng pangil yung mga batas natin. Anti-bullying, mental health, di ba? Maraming magagandang batas na hindi nai-implementa ng maayos sa ating mga paaralan. Peace education, peer involvement, even yung comprehensive na focus group discussions. Siguro kung gano'n natin kagusto na tumaas yung grades ng ating mga estudyante, dapat ganun din yung level ng pangangalaga natin sa kanilang mga kapakanan. Okay? Pangalawa, palakasin natin yung ease of reporting process. 'Di ba? Palakasin natin yung monitoring through CCTVs. 'Di ba? Bigyan natin ng importansya yung presensya ng mga prefects, ng mga guards, ng mga marshals sa public schools natin, yung mga tanods, 'di ba? Para maging crime deterrent yung ating mga schools. And lastly, dapat magtulungan ng pamahalaan ng LGUs at ang DepEd para magkaroon ng intervention dun sa psychological and debriefing interventions para alamin ang ugat ng karahasan sa ating mga paaralan. Bigyan natin to ng importansya. Sa lahat ng pagkakataon, considering na napaka-vulnerabling sektor ng mga kabataan, dapat masigurado natin ang kanilang best interest. Bantayan po natin ang isa't isa. Lalo ngayon na nagbabalik ang pagpasok sa eskwelahan after pandemic dahil lahat po tayo ay parte ng solusyon.
Correct. And siguro, yung holistic approach dapat ng education, yun yung tinitignan din natin, na each individual should be assessed not only based on IQ, but also emotional quotient and adversity quotient, di ba? Kasi how you deal with conflicts, gaya ng sinasabi nyo, builds us to become better individuals in society, better contributing individuals in society. And dapat may understanding tayo of what the power dynamics are. Kasi kung hindi natin naiintindihan na, ay, kaya pala ganito ang tingin sa akin is because there is classism. There is a tribe of people who share different values from you and you don't understand na hindi ako yung may problema. It's just a difference. It's just a mismatch. So, tama pa rin yung sinabi ko kanina na choose people who choose you. But most importantly, build the trust within the institutions, within groups na it's a safe space to share, but at the same time, hindi siya natatapos sa sharing lang. Trust has to be built through follow-throughs, actions, diba? So, we might be talking about this all the time in different institutions or schools, even in social media where we weaponize social media to battle against bullies. Hindi siya dapat pinag-uusapan lang. What should be done? What can be done to stop bullying? Dapat nandun yung action. Hindi dapat sa ano ba yung nangyari lang. It's good to understand, pero kailangan intindihin natin na ano ba yung pinanggagalingan ng bully at ng victim. Kasi both of them are both victims in this situation kasi they don't understand themselves. And lastly, empathy. Speak with kindness, guys. Kasi kung kayo gusto nyo na i-admire kayo, respeto kayo in your groups, in your schools, dapat wag natin i-normalize na nakakatuwa o nakakatawa, maging gawing katatawa ang ibang tao. So, respetuhin natin yun kasi ayaw nyo rin naman na gawin yun sa inyo. Diba? And with that, sabat usapin sabat issue, may boses tayong mga kabataan. Sumali, makinig at makiset dahil opinyon nyo'y mahalaga.
Kaya naman sabay-sabay nating isigaw sa buong mundo. Schoolmates, may pakialam ka!
Isigaw ang